Welcome, everybody, to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today, we have on our show Matt Adams, and he's a dating specialist at GoOutWithMe.com, and I'm so excited to have him here today because I swear to God, I get this question all the time, is how to get a man to stop texting and actually pick up the phone. And ladies, I know you're dying to know the answer to this question. But before we jump into it, Matt, I would love for you to tell our audience how you became a dating specialist.
Sure. So for me, I needed help. I came out of a bad relationship and I signed up to a dating class. I took the dating class and I started getting a lot of results, going on more dates, stuff like that. The men around me saw what was happening and asked me for help. So I decided to help them, and I got a little bit serious into coaching, but I also was in the middle of careers, and so I transitioned from what I was doing into kind of cosmetology. So I went to cosmetology school. And when I was just talking about what I was doing with the guys to the women in school, they were all like, hey, we want help too. So they were hitting me up for help. So I graduated cosmetology school, got my license, got into salons, kept talking about what I was doing to the clientele. And it was actually the women who encouraged me to get out of the salon and go be a dating specialist like full time. So that was kind of my journey. And kudos to the ladies for encouraging me to get out there and do this, because I've changed lives, and that to me is so rewarding.
I completely agree, and that's exactly why I do what I do. And I'm sure the ladies loved it because they were getting advice from a male perspective, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They could hear the other side of it for the first time. And that's what I found too. What I learned about dating, I learned from men. What I learned about women, I learned from men. So when I was in school and I was hearing all of these things and I was getting the confirmation of, hearing it firsthand instead of secondhand, it was very eye-opening.
Exactly. Well, so that's exactly why I'm having you on the show, because we want to know how to get a man to stop texting and actually pick up the phone. So tell us, Matt, how do we do that?
Okay. So today is the age of, digital technology, and everybody's, moving fast in the world and a lot to do. So it's very hard to sometimes break through the barrier and become a priority in someone's life. The first thing is what not to do. Don't be needy. You can't go after somebody and expect them to reply to you when you want something from them. Mm-hmm. So what do? Be non-needy. And what does that mean? Well, let's think about what neediness is. Neediness is when you require something from someone else. So if you're not requiring anything from someone, you want to give them something. So lead by giving them value. And how do you do that? Well, you have something interesting to say. You have something funny to say. You make a statement that doesn't need a reply. You can just say it, put it out there. Mm-hmm. Bait him with something. And what I would recommend is something that I've tried, and it's worked both for my clients as well as myself. Mm-hmm. Bait him with something exciting. And I love this because it gets people thinking, and I'll explain the psychology behind it. But I saw your twin today. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. You'll never guess what I did. And it's super fun because, one, you get them thinking about, you and them together, mm-hmm. right? So they're creating a picture in their mind of the two of you together and what happened. Like, their imagination is going to run wild. They're going to want to know what the answer is.
Right.
You're throwing in a hint of vulnerability with admitting that you're embarrassed, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's also the mystery of, hey, there's something hidden there that I don't know and I want to know it. So that's the bait. That's going to cause them to want to find out.
Okay.
So they're either going to call you back or they're going to text you back, and you can say, call me. Keep it simple. You mm-hmm. can say that. Or you can just let them text you back and say, too much to text, call when ready, or call when free, or something like that. And so what you're doing is you're setting them up to kind of chase you a little bit, to get that missing information, to get that value from you that you have to contribute to them.
That's really interesting that you said that, and I like how you prefaced it with not being needy overall, because if a woman said in a text, "Can you call me?" then it would come across as needy, right? But you did it in a more playful manner where it's like, it's too much to write in a text, so call me or whatever it is. And so then you're not really telling them, call me. It's for the story or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to give them that chance to like come after the bait. Mm-hmm. If they come after the bait, great. There's some attraction going on there, and they're probably interested. And if they don't bite on the bait, there really isn't that attraction going there. So that's just a feedback for you to say, this guy is not as interested as I think. And while I'm on that topic, I want to go off on a small riff. I don't like it when people assume, oh, he didn't call me back or he didn't text me. That means he's not interested. Those two things are not equivalent. They're not equal. They don't mean the same thing.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of women say that, and that's one thing that a lot of women go crazy over is when a man doesn't call them back, like when he says he's going to call, and it's just, she goes through this whole thought process.
Right, yeah. Sometimes he just forgets. I mean, I know for myself, I'm super busy, and if I'm not scheduling things into my calendar, I'm going to overlook something.
Right.
So if you guys have plans to make a call sometime, tell him to put it in his schedule. Tell him to program it into his phone so he remembers, and be playful about it, but, make sure that happens.
So if a man doesn't, and this is going on a different topic because you went there, but so if a man doesn't call her, like if a man says, I'll give you a call tomorrow, okay, because I know this happens to a lot of women, so I want to ask what I know my audience is thinking. If a guy says that she's dating, I'll give you a call tomorrow, but he doesn't call, how should she handle it? Because I know the worst thing she could say is, you said you were going to call me and you didn't call, and I was waiting for your call, because then she comes across as needy, right?
Right, yeah.
So what should she say to the guy? Because she, also she wants to let him know that it's not okay to say that you were going to call and you didn't.
Right. So let's look at this another way. Instead of waiting until after he called, preface the call with, hey, I'm expecting your call today at whatever time. If you can't do it, let me know. That's fine. And then that way, that gives him an out. Maybe he's busy. Maybe something came up. Maybe he completely forgot. And maybe he, one, just needed to be reminded. Maybe two, he does need to say, oh, hey, something came up. I'm busy. And that gives him the chance to do that. So you got to give him an out. And just, I like to prod a little bit and say, are you there still? Are we on? And see what happens. Okay.
Well, these have been some great tips. So, Matt, tell our audience how they can find you.
Go to gooutwithme.com, and you can find all about what I'm up to and the work that I'm doing there.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. If you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. If you'd like to get our free ebook on the 3 secrets guaranteed to attract any man based on scientific research, you could click right here on the video, or you could go to singleandstilettos.com.